It's always sad to see creators bend the knee to cancel culture and attack potential customers, but that is exactly what is happening right now because the team behind the indie game Selaco is so upset over the fact that their game was highlighted for free at the Real Game Awards. But before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, not everybody is going to agree all of the time, and that's perfectly fine. But even if you disagree with Stuttering Craig or his host's views, ultimately, you should still be grateful that people liked your game enough to nominate it, people liked your game enough to talk about it, and instead of being happy you got a bunch of free press, they're now very upset at Stuttering Craig and the Real Game Awards. Now, I think that this is funny because these types of people never complain about the Golden Joysticks existing or the New York Game Awards existing, but they will complain when somebody they disagree with politically happens to throw a show and mention their name. So it all started yesterday. The indie game Selaco slammed Stuttering Craig and his Game Awards show for featuring them for free because they thought it was a cool game. Now, this all happened because people like Alyssa Mercante and Airbagged went after them for, I guess, the crime of being on the wrong show, and they didn't just cave to the bullying cancel culture, they actually embraced it and now are attacking anybody affiliated with this show and the viewers of this show. Again, you would think they would be happy to see that people like their game and that it got nominated and they would gain a bunch of sales, but apparently that's not good enough for them because they've picked a side and they're attacking people. So Wash Your Crack had said developers of Selaco weren't informed their trailer would be featured in the Real Game Awards. The more I'm looking into this, the more I want to distance myself. Their game was advertised among mean-spirited categories, overtly racist animation, and problematic presenters. Somebody said complaining about free advertising for your product, laughing my ass off even. And they said when it comes to potentially damaging the brand we built from nothing, yes, absolutely, and that's perfectly justifiable. There's more to my life than making money, and I'll gladly sell fewer copies if it means not being associated with a hateful individual. Now, Stuttering Craig is not a hateful individual. He doesn't go around attacking people. He doesn't go around telling people to boycott games or to attack developers. That is what is hateful, and he does not do that. What is pretty mean-spirited, though, is the fact that you are saying that somebody who just wanted to throw an event to highlight games is an awful individual. Obviously, you can disagree, and you can say I would have preferred my trailer to not be featured at this event, but ultimately, it is a public trailer on a public platform like YouTube. I could bring up the trailer right now on my channel, and you have no say in that because I'm giving commentary on it. That is the way that the internet works. He does not have to reach out and say, hey, listen, we are going to use your trailer. Now, he could have tried to get you guys more involved. Sure, you could criticize him for that, but you're ultimately not criticizing. You are diminishing his work and ultimately attacking the entire team behind this. Now, here is another thread where they said, we have not paid for an advertisement for the Real Game Awards. I've never even heard about it until an hour ago. Anyway, time to return to sleep. The more I'm looking into this, the more I want to distance myself, and we paid for nothing. I do not even know about this show. And sure, it's the first year. I'm not sitting here saying everybody in the universe knows about it. But again, you'd think that they would be like, oh, this is cool. You guys aren't typically the individuals I would align with, but thanks for highlighting my game, I guess. But it goes even further than that because now the lead coder and one of the devs have called Stuttering Craig and his show an angry culture war desperate to find relevancy. One server member falsely even accused Craig of harassing people. This is the real you can't play my song at your rally vibes by shrieking leftist rockers upset at POTUS. And Here is the thread. So the trailer was shown in the Real Game Awards. Just wondering, how does Nextstick or people here think about that? And somebody said the Real Game Awards. Purio said it's probably good if I do not know what it is. And then Nextstick, the lead, had said no idea what that is, but the name implies it's hosted by a bunch of people who got so mad over something as stupid as an award show that they decided to host their own. Am I that far off? Have you guys ever attacked the Golden Joysticks? Have you guys ever attacked the New York Game Awards? No, you haven't, and those are still pretty big in the industry, right? But they're not as big as the Game Awards. So why is it a problem that Craig is hosting his own awards, but these other people are allowed to? It just does not make sense. I mean, it ultimately does, right? Because they want to just voice their hatred for Craig and side scrollers, and they don't actually want to come up with a decent argument. But they said, am I far off? Oh, it's the screw attack guy. How do I undo our nomination? He seems way too much of a culture war grifter, and I don't have the energy for either side of those. But clearly you do, because you caved into the attacks of the people who, I guess we'll just say, are on the other side, the people who constantly defend the mainstream media and try to diminish and belittle the people that they disagree with politically, instead of just saying, oh, hey, there are two sides of the culture war and I happen to be on the other one, but that's perfectly fine. They constantly attack people. Somebody said, and yes, it's made by one of those mad people on the internet. I think they just took a few trailers from random games without asking to show between the awards. There are people who are nominated at the Game Awards who aren't ever told about that. Look at Queso. Queso had said on his live stream, I didn't even know I was getting nominated. That's why I'm not there. I wasn't even invited. That just goes to show that even for the biggest Game Awards event in the industry, they do not do things the way that these developers and these radical leftists clearly think they do. Craig was not obligated to say, hey, your trailer is being shown. And again, you could totally criticize him for that and say, I think it would be much more professional if you did reach out, if you did try to see if developers wanted to be affiliated with your show, but he doesn't have to. And the biggest event in the industry doesn't even reach out to people that are nominated. Never mind one. But Nextstick said, I guess people go to desperate measures trying to find their relevance again. Shame, I was a huge game trailers guy back in the day. The good people eventually reunited as easy allies, but they're also on the verge of collapse, I believe. So you're sitting here saying Craig is irrelevant when the people you like and support are no longer going to have a job because their job and their company is collapsing? I mean, the jokes really just write themselves here. And because this has happened, people are now criticizing this game and the developers, saying this is so crazy. As a comic creator, I couldn't imagine going around and say, I don't want big channels like Near Mint Condition reading my books because of politics. I'd want everybody reading my books. Savvy said, Craig is among the best of us. These people just read the first 3 words of a headline and it shows. He talks to everyone with respect. He doesn't even do what I do when encountering someone who does something that grinds his gears. I know I'm harsh on pro-censorship people. It should not be difficult for developers or publishers to understand. If you support Alyssa or Airbagged, you will be blacklisted and boycotted going forward until your company goes bankrupt and ceases to exist. Hey, Selaco, no one has asked you to show your trailer to people on the internet. You could have easily said gaming is for everyone. We didn't know, they would show our trailer, but we always love when people like our game. These people are just legit evil. The left are exactly the type of people who would gladly stomp on your face when the jackboot communists come knocking in Soviet Russia. So they're getting wrecked right now, and I'm sure that there were quite a few people who were considering buying this game who ultimately will not now. So I will be keeping my eye on this situation, but it seems that these people are a little bit triggered that someone they disagree with politically is highlighting their game at an event, and instead of just being grateful and saying, hey, everybody can like our game, and I'm glad that we might have attracted some new eyes and potentially gain some new customers, they're melting down. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.